Morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, the 21st, and it is 10:35. And this morning I'm going to go over Chapter 6 from our lovely book, The Science of Being Well by Wallace Wattles. And this one is called The Use of the Will. And we are doing this very quickly because today is my day off. I had a really long weekend. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go hit the gym, and I'm just going to go enjoy myself, because we all need that every once in a while. So, the use of the will. What is the will? The will is your ability to hold one thought steadily to the purpose. The will is your ability to stay focused on the specific goal that you have. The will is the ability to leave certain thoughts that don't serve you, and then to pick up the ones that do. Okay? That is one thing for using the will. We're going to go over some more of it right now. So Chapter 6, Use of the Will. In the practice of the science of being well, the will is not used to compel yourself to go when you are not really able to go, or to do things when you are not physically strong enough to do them. You do not direct your will upon the physical body, or try to compel the proper performance of internal function by willpower. You direct the will upon the mind. You use it in determining what you shall believe, what you shall think, and what you shall give your attention. The will should never be used upon any person or thing external to you, and it should never be used upon your own body. The sole legitimate use of the will is in determining to what you shall give your attention and what you shall think about the things to which your attention is given. All belief begins in the will to believe. You cannot always and instantly believe what you will to believe, but you can always will to believe what you want to believe. You want to believe truth about health, and you can will to do so. The statements you have been reading in this book are the truth about health, and you can will to believe them. This must be your first step towards getting well. And here's that one affirmation that Charles F. Hannell had given us. I can be what I will to be. These are the statements you must will to believe: that there is a thinking substance from which all things are made, and that the man receives the principle of health, which is his life, from this substance. The man himself is thinking substance, a mind-body, permeating a physical body, and that a man's thoughts are, so will the functioning of his physical body be. That if man will think only thoughts of perfect health, he must and will cause the internal and involuntary functioning of his body to be the functioning of health, provided that his external and voluntary functionings and attitude are in accordance with his thoughts. When you will to believe these statements, you must also begin to act upon them. You cannot long retain a belief unless you act upon it. You cannot increase a belief until it becomes faith unless you act upon it. And you certainly cannot expect to reap benefits in any way from a belief so long as you act as if the opposite were true. You must act. You cannot long have faith in health if you continue to act like a sick person. Remember, actions always speak louder than words. If you continue to act like a sick person, you cannot help continuing to think of yourself as a sick person. And if you continue to think of yourself as a sick person, you will continue to be a sick person. Remember, from thinking substance, you are a thinking center, and whatever thoughts you think, you embody. The first step towards acting externally like a well person is to begin to act internally like a well person. Form your conception of perfect health and get into the way of thinking about perfect health until it begins to have a definite meaning to you. Picture yourself as doing the things a strong and healthy person would do, and have faith that you can and will do these things in that way. Continue this until you have a vivid conception of health and what it means to you. When I speak in this book of a conception of health, I mean a conception that carries the idea of the way a healthy person looks and does things. Think of yourself in connection with health until you form a conception of how you would live, appear, act, and do things in a perfectly healthy person. Think about yourself in connection with health until you conceive of yourself in your imagination, as always doing everything in the manner of a well person, until the thought of health conveys the idea of what health means to you. What does he mean by conception here? He means having that mental picture of yourself, having that conception of yourself. Seeing yourself like that and then embodying it and acting as if you were that. Because that is the only way you'll be able to bring that person into the external. That is the only way you could bring that image of yourself into fruition, is to act upon it and to act now. Remember, things could only happen in the here and now. And like Charles F. Hannell said, it is a law. It is the law of cause and effect, that what you think becomes the cause, and what happens to you becomes the effect. Likewise with you, okay? Whatever you think, you become the cause, and the things that happen and respond to you are the effects. As I have said in a former chapter, you may not be able to form a clear mental image of yourself in perfect health, but you can form a conception of yourself as acting like a healthy person. Form this conception, and then think only thoughts of perfect health in relation to yourself, and, so far as may be possible, in relation to others. When a thought of sickness or disease is presented to you, reject it. Do not let it get into your mind. Do not entertain or consider it at all. Meet it by thinking health, by thinking that you are well, and by being sincerely grateful for the health that you are receiving. Whenever suggestions of disease are coming thick and fast upon you, and you are in a tight place, fall back upon the exercise of gratitude. Connect yourself with the Supreme. Give thanks to God for the perfect health He gives you, and you will soon find yourself able to control your thoughts, and to think what you want to think. In times of doubt, trial, and temptation, the exercise of gratitude is always a sheet anchor, which will prevent you from being swept away. Remember that the great essential thing is to sever all mental relations with disease, and to enter into full mental relationship with health. And he wrote that in bold, okay, so that statement is very, very important from what he is trying to emphasize to us about it. Okay, remember that the great essential thing is to sever all mental relations with disease, and to enter into full mental relationship with health. Remember the mind-body he's talking about, okay, that whatever thoughts we think in mental relations with, that's why we must always keep our thoughts towards health and wellness, because we will embody it, and then our physical body will also take shape and respond to it. You know, I remember going over the hormones. Okay, whatever thoughts you think, your brain is also secreting specific hormones within the bloodstream. You know, if you're thinking a lot of stressful things, your body starts to release a lot of cortisol within its bloodstream, and that is known as a stress hormone, and it starts to break down the cells in your body. Okay, so it's very important that we keep our mind and our thoughts towards health, because not only when we do that, we are also releasing those specific hormones. One is known as serotonin, which is the good feeling hormone. Okay, when you think good thoughts, your body responds by releasing good secretions within itself, leaving yourself feeling mentally and physically well. This is the key to all mental healing. It is the whole thing. Here we see the secret of great success of Christian Science. More than any other formulated system of practice, it insists that its converts shall sever relations with disease and relate themselves fully with health. The healing power of Christian Science is not in theological formulae, nor in its denial of matter, but in the fact that it induces the sick to ignore disease as an unreal thing and accept health by faith as a reality. Its failures are made because its practitioners, while thinking in a certain way, do not eat, drink, breathe, and sleep in the same way. While there is no healing power in the repetition of strings of words, yet it is a very convenient thing to have the central thoughts so formulated that you can repeat them readily, so that you can use them as affirmations whenever you are surrounded by an environment which gives you adverse suggestions. When those around you begin to talk of sickness and death, close your ears and mentally assert something like the following. There is one substance, and I am that substance. That substance is eternal, and it is life. I am that substance. I am eternal life. That substance knows no disease. I am that substance, and I am health. Exercise your willpower in choosing only those thoughts which are thoughts of health, and arrange your environment so that it shall suggest thoughts of health. Now this is really, really cool. We're all energy. We are all this consciousness, energy, substance. We are all conscious of being. We are all just energy, and that is true. It is. We can never be born, and we can never die as well. You know, our bodies may, but when this body leaves, we as substance just simply leave this temple, and we go on and take another form. Remember, energy can never be destroyed, nor can it ever be created. It can only change in form. Likewise with you. Do not have about you books, pictures, or other things which suggest death, disease, deformity, weakness, or age. Have only those which convey the ideas of health, power, joy, vitality, and youth. When you are confronted with a book or anything else which suggests disease, do not give it your attention. Think of your conception of health and your gratitude, and affirm as above. Use the willpower to fix your attention upon thoughts in health. In a future chapter, I shall touch upon this point again. What I wish to make plain here is that you must think only health, recognize only health, and give your attention only to health, and that you must control thought, recognition, and attention by the use of your will. Do not try to use your will to compel the healthy performance of function within you. The principle of health will attend to that if you give your attention only to thoughts of health. Do not try to exert your will upon the formless to compel it to give you more vitality or power. It is already placing all the power there is at your service. You do not have to use your will to conquer adverse conditions or to subdue unfriendly forces. There is no unfriendly forces, and there is only one force, and that force is friendly to you. It is a force which makes for health. Everything in the universe wants you to be well. You have absolutely nothing to overcome but your own habit of thinking in a certain way about disease, and you can do this only by forming a habit of thinking in another certain way about health. Man can cause all the internal functions of his body to be performed in a perfectly healthy manner by continuous thinking in a certain way, and by performing the external functions in a certain way. He can think in this certain way by controlling his attention, and he can control his attention by the use of his will. He can decide what things he will think about. And that is the end of chapter 6, the use of the will. And there's also one thing I want to add to this when he's talking about giving your attention to something, because life is made inside and out of consciousness. Life is made about what you put your attention towards. That is why all the successful people, that is why everybody says, only focus on the things that you want and not on the things you don't want. Because as you're thinking about those certain things, you're putting your attention to that thing. You're putting your consciousness into that thing. And since everything is made inside and out of consciousness, the more consciousness you put into something, the more energy and power you're giving that specific thing. And eventually, it will end up manifesting and materializing itself in your life in one form or another, through you and through something else which happens, a situation that is created by you. Okay? So, think only health, stay only healthy. And speaking of health, it's been about 25 minutes since we ate, so I think we're about good. We had some oatmeal. Oatmeal is very good. It's your whole grains, and it has lots and lots of carbs, and they're healthy carbs. Okay, and we also had some almonds. Remember, almonds are very good. They're very heart healthy, and it's very, very healthy fat. Remember, your body needs fats. Okay, remember your fat-soluble vitamins, vitamins A, D, E, and K. Those vitamins are only able to distribute itself through each and every single cell in your body once you have healthy fats in your system. Okay, and then there are your water-soluble vitamins as well, which, just by the name, it travels along the fluid in your body. Okay, so that being said, it's time to go get our workout in and to enjoy our day, enjoy our Sunday, and likewise with you. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. We're doing great things, and we're moving forward. Okay, I'll see you on the other side of the galaxy. Take care.